Salutations, friends. My name is Brianna Bond, otherwise known as No Ordinary Scholar. Welcome to this new video, getting close to the last few videos before the hiatus for the month of August. But I assure you, it's going to be a fun time now, and it's going to be a fun time when I come back. So before I get into the topic of this video, let's go ahead, let's have some chatums, guys. Let's have some chatums. Biggest thing, of course, is going to be that Patreon account where all the book stuff is going on. Get the early access to the videos over there as well. There's so much talk about my cats. I have 3 adorable little kittens, Nuggets, like right there. And there's some cool prizes, like if you ever wanted 1 hour of just video chat talking with me. That's an option that is available over on the Patreon account. Let me know down below in them comment sections how your week's been going. I'd love to hear it. But without further ado, let's find out why bad press is still bad press. Hold on, I'm gonna need a drink first. I love this mug. This is my favorite mug. Title stems from the idea that no press is bad press. If you're in the news, then that's a good thing. It's really a concept you especially associate with a lot of YouTubers like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, those guys. They're doing a bunch of like stupid things. It's hurting people, making people upset. It's making people not like them, but those people that don't like them are still going to their YouTube channel. They're still counted as a view as they are typing up their little hate comment, and YouTube's algorithm, it's not currently intelligent enough to be able to tell the difference between good engagement and bad engagement. So by then being in the news about all these terrible things, they're still attracting more of an audience, attracting more attention to their channel, and it's still gaining them more money. But I would argue that that concept only works for a limited period of time, and I think this is something other people would agree with me on. I believe this is also something that Matthew Patrick, Stephanie Patrick have talked about on their series, on GT Live, stuff like that. That ideal is only works for a short period of time and a specific period of time. So 3 years later, if you keep doing all this terrible stuff because, oh, that's how he is, he's just a jerk. But what if you are struggling? Because what if that press is influencing that struggle you're having? This is where I really get into the meat of this piece right now. Cardi B's new song and music video, Press. If you don't follow Miss Thang, I'll go ahead and explain to you what's going on in the song. If we're being honest, the song is very reactive, if that makes sense, which is not what people would associate with Cardi B. But when you look at it, it is very much an I won't start the fight, but I will end it. It's almost a little cocky in the sense that you're not really worth my time. I'm not going after you because I know I'm better than you. You keep saying you want to come at me, we'll see how it ends. That's kind of the gist of a lot of the song. So when she's talking about the press in the song, it seems like she's referring to the press as almost a massive escalation of this idea of this person's coming for me, I ain't got time for you, I don't need you, you want to come after me, you want to swing first, I'll swing last. That kind of makes sense in the fact that with all of the internet, media is a lot of people's major form of news, and then the media is able to expand itself so fast, it's able to put out stories without having a lot of facts checked. And so that makes it easier to spread whatever you want. Tabloids have flourished off of the internet. This is essentially saying like she no longer wants to be a part of that. It's an attack on her if you continue to put her in those spotlights when she didn't ask for it. The video's a little different, guys. From like the very beginning, a lot of people die. It starts off with these 2 people dying. They die. You see Cardi with some blood on her. She ends up going to court. The judges presiding over the case are all old white men. The witnesses against her end up dying. Cardi is put into prison, and all of her backup dancers die. And you end seeing Cardi drown her cellmate in that prison. There's a lot of death going on here. But the question is, why does Cardi not need more press? The answer is When you look at the reviews, at the news articles, the tabloids, everything talking about this song and this video, they refer to Cardi portraying a serial killer. If you actually watch the video, every time someone dies, it cuts to black. So when the first two people are killed, it cuts to black. We don't see bodies. We see Cardi with some blood on her, but that could happen. She's taken to court, and again, before those witnesses are killed, it cuts to black. We just see them dead. Cardi's not reacting at all, but we just see them dead. She goes to prison. We do see in the prison scene, this is the only death we do see. We see her drown her roommate, but it's prison. The scene cuts and we immediately are brought to the point where the drowning is happening. It's prison. We don't know if Cardi just viciously attacked her without cause, or if there was already a fight going on and this was the way Cardi needed to protect herself, was to kill this. Who knows? Because it's prison, so that's a damn option. But I think the portrayal of these deaths this way is very intentional, because Cardi B did a lot of research. She did a lot of research on serial killers prior to directing and performing in this music video. And specifically when she advertised this video, she reenacted and actually posted as well, I believe, the picture of Aileen Wuornos before her execution. Stop it. Aileen Wuornos had the handcuffs on against her neck. Aileen Wuornos was convicted of killing 7 men that were sex trafficking her. She killed 7 men that had been sex trafficking her. I'd like to take this time to say, when dealing with a case like this, when it's sex trafficked victims, understand that they are victims, that they are in a lack of control, and that there is very well a chance with a lot of sex trafficking victims that the only way you can get out of that situation is to kill someone. And I don't believe that should be charged as murder, first-degree murder, even really manslaughter. But I digress. People knew about the sex trafficking issues that Aileen Wuornos had been having, but no one cared.
Why?
Because of the press. You see, in the news, Aileen Wuornos had been portrayed as just a monster, a terrible, terrible human being. And so, despite the fact that the jury that is presiding over your case should essentially not know anything about you, about the case, any of that, that still had a major impact on how she was treated, how she was judged, how she was convicted, and the punishment that she was receiving. Here, bringing it back to the music video, we do really see this kind of situation take place in real life. Right now, we do have a massive press culture that whenever they're attacking this video, they're talking about it as if Cardi was a serial killer, despite the fact that they do not have the evidence to say that. She isn't seen killing anybody except for one, which very well could have been out of self-defense, but they are coming at her like she is a serial killer. They're discussing it like she is a serial killer. I think this is all focused around one phrase. You see it in a poster in the video. It's innocent until proven guilty. She's not been proven guilty. She has been assumed guilty. No one here has any evidence. No one here knows the cases, nothing like that. We didn't see anyone die except for that last person in the jail cell, which again could potentially be self-defense. But the press, again, they have the ability to blow this out of proportion, basically, and portray it in a new light with that bias that they have. And that bias is going to impact, especially celebrity, it's going to impact in a lot of different ways. Because remember how I was saying, like, in a case, your jury shouldn't know anything about you, about the case whatsoever beforehand. That's harder to do these days. That's really hard to do in such an overly connected world. So a lot of bigger names, they're going to have a jury that knows them, that knows of them. So now you're just left to a case where which attorney is better, not because of what they're able to do in the courtroom, which attorney was better at picking juries that would side with their case. And another thing is that brings up the bias and shows the bias in this is Cardi is currently going through her own trial for an assault that happened some club. There's a claim that she like conspired with, and like she told her girls, hey, attack that chick, and conspired with them to assault this girl. Cardi at the very least threw some like ice at the woman. People keep tying this video back to that. They're completely irrelevant. So if you're going to use that, you have to be able to understand the lyrics, because lyrically it does say, I'm not going to hit first, I'm going to hit second. And again, if you as a lawyer are going to take the chance of saying, hey, she wanted to do a whole serial killer music video, you have to be able to show through the video evidence, which there isn't evidence in the video to prove it, that she did kill all of these people. There isn't evidence there to support that. You are making a very big leap there. But the media right now is able to portray that image and spread that around. So now the majority of people that would be able to look through this case and judge this case, juror this case for Cardi, is going to know about the situation. They're going to know about her serial killer music video. They're going to think of it as a serial killer music video because that's how E.T. described it. Do you see where like all of this is tying in together, where all of this is starting to become a problem? And the fact is, we're not going to be able to change like biases in media. There's more than just one bias for this specific case, and we're going to talk about another one in a second. But there's really no way to change the biases in media. Best thing we can do is help people understand the biases. The other bias I want to talk about was actually the reason why this song ended up getting so popular, so much news time, so much media time. And that is because, unfortunately, Cardi is a woman. That's a little far, don't you think? It's not popular because she's a woman. A, she was naked throughout half of the video, and B, she intentionally chose a controversial way to portray this video. I mean, but how often does it actually make news when a man has a naked woman in his music video? That's different. But besides, she still chose an intentionally controversial topic by portraying a bunch of serial killers and trying to make them look like the good guys, trying to make them look innocent. You know, there are impressionable kids that watch her music videos. She needs to think of them. One, the only reason the whole like female nudity thing is different is because she is the woman that is naked, and people don't think she should be okay with that. Two, for that little, she's impressionable kids watching her, go ahead and check out this video really quickly. I think you could really learn something from them. Three, she chose a controversial topic. Let's talk about Logic, okay? Logic did a song with Joyner Lucas called ISIS. In that song, they associate ADHD, a pretty common disorder amongst a lot of children, and it can still continue on throughout your adult life. They associate that disorder with terrorism and murder, saying that it makes them twitchy, that gives them a good trigger finger. They're dressed in military uniforms. I think Logic is at some point in a black hood surrounded by people with guns. That association was all thrown together. Again, ADHD is a very common disorder. Logic sees a lot of young fans, but you really can't find any news on that one. Look up the Cardi B press video, you get mostly news articles. Look up that song, you get a link to the Spotify track, you get a link to the YouTube track, a link to his other albums, a link to his Twitter, and then you get one article from, like, when I just looked it up, you get one article saying, oh my god, they ended their feud and this song is such a banger. Please. But God help you if you say that you should have real evidence, not media bias, to convict someone with a crime, that they should be judged by like people like them, because that's what a jury of your peers is. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to keep thank you so much for listening. If you actually didn't know about this whole hiatus thing that I'm doing, go ahead, check out my vlog. I'll put it somewhere around here whenever the thing pops up. And you can find out about the hiatus, the things I've been up to, some of the shenanigans. Go to my Patreon. Patreon. The Patreon account has all of the shenanigans, all of the super secrets. That's where you want to be, kids. But if you want to keep hearing from me a little bit more regularly, go ahead and check out my Instagram, Facebook, and OrdinaryScholar.com, all of which are linked down below. And again, if you really are feeling generous, if you really like what I'm doing here, please check out my Patreon account. But until next time, valedictions, friends.